Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. We've been talking about fear, so we're going to talk about fear some more. I'm going to get a little bit real here about fear. Let's talk about the beauty industry. I'm not going to mention names or anything else because the honest to God truth is I don't know most of the names of the companies because, well, I don't get into the beauty industry. But the beauty industry has us women, some men, spending thousands of dollars a year of your hard-earned money to buy these products that will make you more attractive, will make you younger looking. When did it become wrong to get old? When did that happen? Getting old was supposed to be a good thing. You work your butt off so you can have your retirement time to go out and enjoy life. You're older, you're more mature, you're laid back, you really don't care what other people think. If that is how it's supposed to be, and that's what retirement's about, then how come we buy into the beauty industry? Because you're bombarded with billboards and commercials, an advertisement everywhere you go. If you don't have this makeup, you won't look young. Oh, are you getting crow's feet? Well, yes, I am. I laugh. That's what happens. That's how the body works. Why we allow these companies to instill fear in us. I know women that can't walk out the door just to go dump their garbage without putting on their full makeup. Now, I'm not going to say that I never wore makeup. I did. I still do here and there, but I don't put on the whole foundation and all the rest of it because to me, I can feel it on my face. And to me, I get compliments on it, but it feels like I'm wearing a mask. I don't want to be wearing a mask. I want to be real. I want to be me. And I don't want somebody to love me or find me attractive because I have this mask on. Because I have this foundation and the powder on top of it to set it and all the concealer to cover up my red spots or whatever else they do. Oh, and let me draw in my lips better and make my nose thinner and my eyes bigger or my eyes smaller. For what? For what? So they can make money. It doesn't make you any better of a person. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Personally, me, I don't care about first impressions. Reason being is I can't find beauty in another human being until I get to know them. Beauty, to me, is only once I know who they are and who their heart is. Superficial beauty, we're sold on. We're told we have to be this size. We're told we've got to do this. We got to do that. Women and men are losing their freaking minds because they can't get to that perfectness. Or they're ashamed that they have laugh lines and crow's feet. Hello, you're not young. What is the problem? Why do we have to make it such a big deal to make you and everybody else afraid that if you don't buy this makeup and if you don't cover that zit or you don't cover those bags under your eyes or the red spots that you have, you are not pretty? That's bullshit. And they sell that to you. If you look back, I want to say it was sometime in the 70s or 80s. They started actually getting psychologists to help with their advertising. 100%. They did the same thing for interviews. Why do you think you have to answer those stupid personality questionnaires? I feel this. I feel that. Well, I can tell you right now from experience, I can tell you everything you want on one of those damn exams. They don't tell you shit about who I am. They have no bearing on what I am. And let's talk our phones. They listen to us, do they not? I have 2 cell phones that I carry with me everywhere. One cell phone I use regularly, like right now. When I'm doing DoorDash, when I'm hanging out at home and surfing Facebook or the internet or whatever else. The other phone is strictly used for music in my car. The advertisement that I get on this phone versus that phone, you'd think we're 2 different people. 2 totally different people own these phones. But they cater their advertising to what they know about us. The only thing they know about us is that we're afraid of everything. We fear everything. My mother got sick in 2020. And in 2021, I had to go back and I took care of her for about 3.5, 4 months before she passed. And I did DoorDash when I was back there in Wisconsin by her. And I will wear pants. I don't own shorts. I prefer to wear my dresses or my skirts. It's just my thing. And my mother said to me before I went out door dashing the first time there, she says, "Now, Danielle," she says, "you didn't bring any of your dresses, did you?" And I looked at her confused and I said, "Mom, it's March here. It's too damn cold for dresses, so no." And she says, "Oh, good." I said, "Why did you ask that?" And she looks me dead in the eyes and she says, "You don't want to be wearing a dress when you're outdoor dashing. Somebody might rape you or murder you. Because I'm wearing a dress, I could get raped or murdered. That could happen in pants too. That could happen in shorts." We live in a culture and in a society that we've been brought up pretty much from 70s that we need to be afraid of everything. We don't even let our kids play outside and run off to the little woods over, down the street or whatever. Because, oh my God. And I was 100% guilty of that with my kids when they were little. Because I didn't know any better then. Just like Maya Angelou said, we do better when we know better. I know better. I don't know why everybody thinks everything's so scary out there. I own a 31-foot Class A RV. I put my car on the back of it. I tow dolly it. And I go visit family and friends. I live in the RV. Most people will ask me, "Aren't you afraid?" And I'm like, "Afraid of what?" "Well, you're a single woman driving that big of a vehicle across the country. You're not afraid?" What would I be afraid of? Was I terrified when I first started driving this big thing? Hell yeah. But once I got adjusted to it, it's easy. I love it. I got a grin ear to ear every time I drive this thing. Fear of what? Well, aren't you afraid of somebody, bothering you or something? Who would bother me? The truth is, I stop at gas stations. This is a gas Class A, which means it doesn't fill up quickly. 75 gallons takes a long time to fill up. While I'm standing there, people ask me where I'm coming from, where I'm headed to. other people who do this like I do, that are filling up their trucks or their RVs. Hey, where you going? We sit and chat. I have yet to discover anything that I need to be afraid of. I moved out to Phoenix, Arizona in 2004. I have made so many trips back and forth between Arizona and Wisconsin. And in all of my trips back and forth, I prefer to drive. I will fly if it's necessary, but I know it's a lot quicker, but it just seems like a burden. I gotta pack limited amounts because I gotta have it fit in my luggage and whatever else, and I gotta wait in line, and it's just easier in my mind to drive. I'd rather drive. So I've never seen anything that's horrible. The things that I saw that were horrible, that I wouldn't want to have to deal with or witness, happened when I was doing day-to-day things, like my job, or at some place, shopping, or picking up food. But in my travels, I have run into nothing but nice people. And I must say, when I first left here to go back to Wisconsin in the spring of last year, I had the car in the back. I got myself a little stuck at one of the gas pumps. I couldn't figure out how to get around with all the little cars that were in the way and everything else without taking out a pump or wrecking my car. And I tried, I kept trying. And there was a gentleman on the other side of the pump, and he says, "You kind of stuck?" And I laughed and I said, "Yeah, just a little bit." He says, "Well, let me help you." So he guides me through so I get out. Thank you. I don't remember who you are. We never actually met. But thank you for that help. It was a lifesaver. I have not met these evil, rotten people. You watch the news every night. What do you walk away from the news? Oh my God, this world is evil and rotten and awful. Why? Because it gives them ratings. Because it keeps you tuning in. And in the process, it gets embedded in your mind, in your brain, that you need to be afraid. And they sell us products, like beauty products, because we should be afraid of getting old. We should be afraid that we hit 50 years old and we don't look like we're 20 or 30. Really? Really? A salesman gives me a sales pitch that has anything to do with fear in it. I will look him right in the eye and say, "You just lost the sale for good." Because if you're going to try to sell me something and make me afraid to buy it, you're not manipulating me. And that's what they're doing. They're essentially manipulating you. You just don't realize it. It's subtle. It's all around you. All your friends, all your family, they're doing exactly the same thing because they're bombarded with all the same stuff. I gave up I gave up cable and regular TV in 2009. I watch TV here and there. I do like my Netflix and my Hulu, but truth be told, I don't really get into watching the news. I don't like watching the news. It's depressing. It really makes you bummed out. It affects you whether you want to believe it or not. If you wake up in the morning and you make your coffee and you're going to sit down and you're going to watch the news in the morning because, oh, I want to see the weather. Great. I understand that. But everything else you have to watch in between it is setting you up for a shitty day. If you start your day off with fear, what's going to happen? Then you go through your day, you come home, you watch the news again, just for the weather. And they tell you what? Oh, well, there was a shooting here at this Circle K, or there was a shooting here. There was there's been car thefts in this area. Catalytic converters have been being stolen. I'm not denying that those things don't happen. But if that's all they're reporting on, majority of the time, how's that affecting your mind? Have you ever thought about that? We now have computers. Hell, our phones are our damn computers. You want to know the weather? You can look it up on an app. You don't need to be watching the news for it just so you can get depressed and bummed out and have a shitty day. Because if you really think about it, they sell us all kinds of fear that we need to be afraid of. Oh my God, what happens if you break down on the side of the road? You call and get help, or you get on YouTube or Google and figure it the fuck out. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult. This is my take on fear. I have lots of other ideas and thoughts on fear too, but we're going to start heading towards change and how fear and change are kind of together. Good night, guys.